أنهم ليسوا حتى بشر. يتنفسون الماء ويغيرون شكلهم. يستطيعون الرؤية في الظلام ويراقبون دائما.
Medal of Honor goes global. What does it mean in gameplay?
What does it mean in gameplay? Well, that's interesting question. It affects us on two fronts. On the single-player side of things, for the first time, we're not centering our storyline around one single historical event, but rather multiple events that occur around the world that are all tied together by a single threat that the Tier 1 unit has to kind of hunt down and stop before it happens. On the multiplayer side, we're really excited about this one. We want to recognize that there are Tier 1 units all over the world in many different nations, and we wanted to be able to provide that experience for players all over the world. So we created a 12 units from 10 different countries that the players can play. And we wanted to take that even a step further and kind of take a page from the FIFA playbook and say, all right, you always read these news groups and forums online. They're like, hey man, who's better? Man, SAS is better than SEALs. No way, man. Delta's better than so and so. So we wanted to kind of take that kind of that friendly competition into our multiplayer game and create a blue-on-blue competitive mode where you can see who is the best of the best.
Preacher, we're going in. Voodoo, get to the ribs. We're gonna need extract.
We saw it's a Frostbite 2 engine. How does it translate in the game? Is it like Battlefield 3 that everything can be destroyed in game, or are exploding buildings and stuff like that more scripted?
It's a little bit of both. We're approaching destruction from a completely different angle than Battlefield does. It's more about the player experience in terms of bringing up close and personal. So we have what we call micro destruction all through the levels, where as you're taking cover behind things, you're moving around. Wood is shattering around you, pieces are breaking, all this stuff to really make the player feel the danger of being where he is, to understand that the world is fragile. And then we also have larger set piece moments that are either scripted or that are larger destruction. So we kind of mix it up in that respect. This isn't about rolling through the world and knocking down every building. That's not what our game is about. And on top of that, I mean, Frostbite 2 is just an incredible graphical powerhouse. I mean, it looks so much better. We're able to just realize. I mean, we have a great art director and a great art team, and we're able to realize that vision and bring that visual fidelity out much better.
We see some gameplay, and we think the most heard comment is going to be it looks a little bit like Call of Duty with the breaches and stuff like that. How are you going to try to let Medal of Honor Warfighter stand out beyond Call of Duty or beyond the battlefield?
Well, we're kind of doing our own thing with that. I mean, at the end of the day, a first-person shooter is a guy with a gun moving around an environment, shooting other guys with guns, and so I mean, at that level, we can only do what we can just to make that experience smooth and exciting and engaging. But in terms of the door breaches, we're approaching that from a much different way than say Call of Duty would do it or whatever. In terms of it's more about thinking about choices and being authentic to how they would actually do it. And what happens on the other side is not necessarily a scripted event. It is a completely incumbent upon what you do and how you do it. We can say that we're going to provide the player with a lot of different experiences throughout the game. Some are scripted because this is a story game, so we want to be able to tell a good story. But some we're going to definitely give the player more choices than we've ever had before when it comes to good gameplay. Yes, we're going to address things, obvious things like the invisible walls, and obviously we're going to try to make the AI better and all of those things. The other thing that we really wanted to address was we drew some criticism of having kind of a game that felt like two games because DICE made our multiplayer game, and which I think they did a great job of, and we did a great SP game, which I think we did a great job of. But for some reason it didn't resonate with our fans to have them two engines in one box. So we are now taking multiplayer in-house at Danger Close. We have a multiplayer team now working on it, and we're really excited to bring that to the gamers.